Hmm. Good evening and salutations, my Jade fans. You know, I think in some ways between Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, and I've been sitting there saying this whole week about a certain saying. Love isn't always enough, right? If you watch Days and you saw my review, I talk about Belle and Sean. And in this General Hospital episode, I'm starting off with Molly and TJ. Now, this is one of those things where it's like hindsight is 2020. And often when relationship ends, you always sit there and think of what you could have done, whose fault it is, and at the end of the day, it doesn't change anything. It's just a shitty situation. But a couple of things that TJ said was very off-putting when he comes in there and he talks to Jordan and Curtis, which, by the way, Curtis is starting to get on my damn nerves at this point. Okay, he keeps it there saying to Jordan, well, he keeps it there saying to people, and particularly Jordan, that Drew is double crossing him. I don't think that he understands the definition of double crossing. This isn't a situation where Drew double crossed him. This is a situation where Drew led him to believe something that wasn't true. It is not the same thing as double crossing. And if you don't believe me, well, Google it because that definition is a lot different than what Drew is doing to him. And how he even sits there and says, listen, he never actually, I don't feel like I should be owed something or I'm entitled to something. So he understands that, but he's like, what he's doing is somehow like screwing me over. Bro, at the end of this whole thing, people can sit there and say what they want about Drew. Drew is not sitting there leaving them out high and dry. He's not sitting there firing him, sitting there saying, well, this isn't a situation like on Days of Our Lives with Kristen and Ava and Gabby where he's like, hey, listen, you just can't work here, whatever, because, uh, Gabby is our asset right now, and I'm not doing too good with the board. This is one of those things where, yeah, he is meant to try to smooth things over with Michael, cover his ass, whatever you want to sit there and call it. But it's not like you don't have a job. You started off in the well division, right? And you was doing good and you was happy and everything like that. And you keep talking about, well, he's undervaluing me and, he's not, giving me a chance to really show my potential. At the end of the day, even Michael said, you're not CEO material. I mean, you could be one day, but I am it now. So why would he sit there and choose you over somebody who has been doing this for a very long time? So you already knew exactly where you stand. But now you want to sit there and start trying to act like you're all butthurt about it. And then you decide, you know what, since he's not going to protect me, I shouldn't sit there and keep his secret. Oh, so now your feelings is hurt and you want to sit there and act like a 12-year-old little boy and decide to sit there and out Drew's secret. Nice. Because what, you're not getting what you want? Okay, bro. Sure. So yeah, TJ comes in. TJ sits in and says, I need a place to stay. Me and Molly are taking a break, separating, whatever. He talks about how he felt that Molly was, trying to move past her feelings, by Smith saying, well, it was an accident. And saying that, he was grieving and, at the end of the day, you wanted her to grieve with you. And you even repeated it by just saying, listen, she was in a lot of grief. And at the end of the day, she couldn't sit there and handle your grief on top of her grief. So what do you generally do when that happens? Do you just sit there and be upset and be like, oh, well, let's sit there and let's grieve together? Or do you sit there and say, hey, you know what? Listen, I love her, but I understand that she can't handle my pain on top of her pain. Let me sit there and handle my own ish by getting counseling. But instead, you practically wanted her. He keeps saying like, well, I didn't want to, I'm not trying to control how she wants to be, how she wants to grieve. But you are. You're judging her. You're sitting there saying, well, she's grieving by going into work and things of that nature. I'm like, how we grieve is different for everyone. I'm like, as long as you're not doing it in a very self-destructive way or a way that's going to sit there and impact yourself on a physical level or anyone else, then like, how about you just sit there and let her rock? And that's my issue. And I understand that, he wants children and she doesn't want it. And, hey, listen, I can't make this work. And I don't know. Part of me just sat there and looked at it and was like, Jordan and Curtis are sitting there trying to placate towards what TJ is going through and his feelings and everything like that. And I think if they weren't family, they might have sat there and kind of called him out on some of the ways that he was going about it. And once again, he rehashed this whole, well, I just want to sit there and make her happy. So, we agreed with Christina because he blames Christina. And I get that part. But it's like, bro, you're not taking responsibility because you did agree to sit there and have um her as a surrogate. And people could sit there and say, well, he did sit there and say, well, clearly he didn't. Okay? Maybe the testosterone levels are not high enough, but he didn't sit there and use his manly man voice to sit there and be like, nope, we ain't doing this. We're not doing this. We're not using your system. Okay? Just for so many reasons, we're not doing that. So when he brings that up, it just kind of made me roll my eyes like, oh, okay. Yep, this is all Christina's fault. And of course, you didn't have any say so on, whatever. Because you wanted to make Molly happy. Yeah, and where did that get you? Okay, sure. Now, while that's going on, you got Molly coming over at Alexa's place and pretty much telling her, hey, listen, I know Christina thinks it's open and shut, but when you got kicked out, left, whatever, Rick looked like he really sold that ish. And hell, I believe him. And if Christina wants to sit there and spend the rest of her life trying to get justice and everything like that, knock yourself out. I'm not going down that road. And of course, she talks about the breakup and everything like that. And it's just pretty much kind of on some level, kind of rehashing a little bit how she felt before. And, you know, it is what it is. Um, and so eventually, TJ's like, hey, listen, we're not meant to be, you know? And that's one of the things I noticed about General and Days, as far as love is not enough, and sometimes you got to sit there and call it, because you can wind up resenting your partner, your husband, your wife, whatever that new age BS that they want to sit there and call it. Let's not sit there and continue on that road. Let's not do more damage to each other than we actually have to. So I guess in some ways, they did the adult thing, and you know, and pretty much just ended. Now, Rick meets Ava, and he's not exactly in a good mood. Now, my whole understanding, because he doesn't really sit there and say why, but it's because he did his job. And now he's upset that he did a good job as far as defending Ava and also convincing Molly that it was an accident, so this way she can start the process of moving forward. So part of me is just like, so you're upset that you actually did your job. Now he does sit there and say, well, it can go the other way. The jury can sit there and realize that I was kind of the devil incarnate and just really went after a grieving mother. It can go either way. But I don't know, the conversation doesn't really go that much anywhere, except for the fact that he does kind of, go from his moody, pissy attitude to them just sharing a drink, and Ava Smith is saying that she defended Nina, defended him with Nina and everything like that. And I don't know, maybe they'll eventually wind up sleeping together because it's been a lack of loving in the afternoon on a soap opera. So we know that's going to happen sooner or later. Lulu gets caught up with Laura over a lot of stuff. Spencer's death, um, Ace, Valentine being gone with Charlotte, And the fact that eventually Laura's like, you need to go to the doctor now. Because at one point she's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go and find her. I was like, no, you're going to sit there and sit your ass down. Because you are barely walking, you're barely standing. And I don't know if she knows about her and about Laura and Kevin being together. Oh, also Spencer's dead and Ace's mother is dead. And yeah, she's just waking up to a shit show at this point. Now, with Anna and Jason, Anna spends most of her time sitting there blaming herself about everything, about letting Valentine go and saying she only did it because it seems like it's just rehashing over, the story before about her letting Valentine go and why she let her go and stuff like that. And after a while, I was like, okay, Anna, listen, we don't have to get past this. We have to, because I can't sit there and watch you cry and blame yourself. It's getting kind of annoying. Like, I don't care at this point. Just put on your big girl pants, own it, and move on. And I think that's, Jason kind of blames himself just to take some of the blame off of her. And it's like, you need to stop blaming yourself. So after about 30 or 40 minutes, um, Jason's like, he realizes, let's not sit there and try to go after her, go after Valentine, waste our time and resources. Let's have Valentine come to us. He doesn't say what the plan is, but at least he's switching it up. I don't know what's going on with Valentine, the actor that plays Valentine, what new Charlotte they're going to sit there and get if they get new Charlotte or if they get old Charlotte or whatever. Um, Curious about that. And I am definitely missing something. Oh, Dante is not there telling Cody about Lulu being awake. And Cody, after talking about the hitchhiking thing, Cody's like, oh, that's funny. He actually picked up a hitchhiker. Oh, okay. So pretty much two people did something stupid. Lulu hitchhiked, which is extremely dangerous, and Cody picked up a hitchhiker, which is also extremely dangerous. Kind of reminds me of that movie with Sophia Bush and Sean Bean. It's actually called Hitchhiker. Interesting movie if you got nothing else to watch. Um, and Dante was like, how did you not recognize her? And he says something, it was some sort of vague BS excuse that was very forgettable, but he came up with some half-assed lame excuse of why he didn't recognize her, which is, one, it's the rightest way of not there addressing, hey, listen, we didn't forget, but we have this lame-ass excuse that may work, at the very least, is going to be somewhat passable. Spoiler alert, so it wasn't passable. Whatever that was BS, and I don't believe any of it. I just believe it was bad writing. Um. Anyway, you talk about her being awake and everything, and then Brooklyn comes in. Here's the thing: Brooklyn needed to know that Lulu was awake. That was the whole point of her coming in. Now she came in and she was just annoying. Um, Whining about something that Tracy was not there blowing up her phone because she couldn't get a hold of Cody for something that I don't remember, but she wanted to get a hold of him. She couldn't, so she kept blowing up Brooklyn's phone, interrupting Brooklyn's alone time with Chase, and I kind of was just like, yeah, I don't even know what you're whining about, but this is like really annoying. And for most of that part, until she found out that Lulu was awake, I just looked at my phone because I generally just didn't care. You were just being annoying. Anyway, she finds out that Lulu's awake, and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. Um, I'm happy for you and Rocco, and yeah, okay, so blah 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 and bye." And she just leaves, and Cody's like, "She does not seem that happy." And Brooklyn and Dante's like, "Yeah, because they got history, bad history." Um, and she tried to break up my relationship with Lulu, and Carly paid her to. You know, they are. I don't see it, but apparently people in my live stream, the subscribers and everything like that, are hinting at this love child. And there's probably another word for it that I'm not going to use because it violates YouTube's. blah 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 blah. We all know where I'm going with that. Child with Dante, that's Geo's. And of course, even as Deanna GH Envy says, it's going to be so stupid because they're going to retcon it into, well, Lulu didn't stop them in time, and yeah, those two went all the way. And of course, if they went all the way, that means that Brooklyn um, roofied Dante and SA them. So yeah, and granted, here's the thing. I feel like they would do that, I feel like they would be able. They feel like they would be able to get away with it since they retcon so much other stuff that's been going on throughout this whole year. Um, so I feel like them retconning that is just, what's one more, right? What's really one more? Well, one more just equals bad writing. That's what that means in my eyes. Anyway, I feel like that's about it. I can't think of anything else, but if I missed anything, either write in the comment section or come to the live stream today, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I will be snipping going over everything, from General Hospital to Bold and the Beautiful to Young and Restless, the Days of Our Lives. Anything that I missed, we'll sit there and go over it, and we'll talk about it. Anyway, I'll sit there and see you in the next video.